being a woman in construction. It's not easy. I'm actually the first person in my family in the construction industry. Welcome to Senses Africa by EV Banks Arts. My name is Beryl Akumu. I am an assistant project manager by profession. I take part in community development works through a program called Bold Face Initiative. So growing up, I was born in Kwale County. During a time of political unrest, I remember my parents had to seek refuge in Nairobi. We stayed in Nairobi for 2-3 years before we moved back. Since then, I've grown up in Kwale in a place called Ukunda, as famously known as Diani. It's quite a nice place, you should visit. I come from a family of 4. I have a younger brother. My mother is a teacher. My father works in the hospitality industry. Being raised by a mom who is a teacher has really helped in instilling discipline in me in terms of issues such as managing your time, being orderly, being neat. Because she was a very, teachers are strict disciplinarians. So it really helped me in terms of how it has shaped my life. My experiences in school, I clearly remember one experience that really shaped me was in lower primary. I had a friend who was bullying me, and as a result of the bullying, I was quite a timid child. So because of the fear of being bullied, I used to be in my own cocoon, not talk to people. But in class 5, my bully moved out. And I was so happy, and I started moving out from it. Funny thing, in class 6, I changed schools, and I went to the same school as my bully was. I remember feeling so scared and wanting to go back to my shell. But at that moment, I realized that no one takes up your space. You have to be confident enough. So it didn't really bother me. So I think that experience really taught me to stand up for myself, to stop being afraid and be able to just take up my own space. So that has been one experience that has really shaped me to who I am today, being able to be confident in myself and not let anyone put me down. I spent most of my primary school, I did my primary school in Kwale County, and then moved to Siaya County for my high school. I did at St. Mary's Luwak Girls. I later proceeded to JKUAT, where I took construction management. I think construction management also taught me resilience, because it's not an easy course. It's quite difficult, time consuming. You have to be really resilient to be able to see it through to the end. Yeah. My main inspiration is, number 1, myself. There's this statement I had that says, "The world owes you nothing." It really got to me because I believe there's this entitlement that people have, thinking that if you do this, you're supposed to get this. So for me, I know that everything I do for me. It's for my good. So I believe it really inspires me, because if I give up, I'm giving up on myself. Another thing is my parents. My parents really, really believe in me. So I think they are the people who make me feel like I cannot give up. Even when things are tough and I'm having a decision where I'm thinking, should I do it, should I not? I just call my parents, talk to them, and they just give me the strength to move forward and do it, despite it being uncertain. But the fact that they believe that I can do it makes me go forward and not give up on myself. What I do, I'm in the construction industry. I studied construction management, and currently I'm an assistant project manager. What a project manager does is oversee the implementation of the project not just in terms of time and cost. A lot of people, when they look at a project, they look at it from the aspect of the budget and how long the project should take. But there are many factors that affect this project that there has to be someone who is overseeing it. Items like communication, even simple communications amongst the team, the stakeholders. You can come and do a project here today and someone goes to court and stops your project. So you will have failed because you have not implemented that project. So basically that is what a project manager does. They oversee the implementation of a project. In terms of community development, I've been part of a few programs. I started with Heroes for Change, which was a program by Unilever where we go to schools and teach kids how to wash their hands properly. The aim was to prevent death through diarrhea. And then I moved to a program called UAFIA. That was also by Unilever. It was targeted at young mothers and teen moms, where they were targeting in terms of hygiene and health. Later on, I joined Boldface Initiative, which I'm currently with. In Boldface Initiative, we have a goal of ensuring a period-positive community. Our main aim is providing accurate information on menstrual health management. We are not focused on providing the products, but providing accurate information, because we realize a lot of people do not have the right information when it comes to menstrual health and how to manage it. Because menstrual health is more than just providing the product. It goes down to hygiene, it goes down to your health, how you dispose the product, what product works best for you. So we realize there is need for information, and not just for the girls, but everyone in the community, because we have learned that in empowerment, you cannot just empower the child alone. You have to empower the girl, the parent, brother, sister, everyone, so that we have a community where there is no period shame. We end period shame. Period is normal. Menstruation is a biological process. It's part of you. So that is what we do at Boldface. We carry out activations in schools, children's homes, amongst our peers, just not limited to the girl child, but everyone in the community. You know that dream where when you are young you thought by 25 I'll be married, have a big house, a car, a husband, and be contributing. You want to have a children's home of your own. Yeah, we all had that dream, but life is different. The reality is different. So I didn't really have inspirations to join philanthropy, rather than just maybe, get a children's home and contribute it. You feel like you're changing the world. But it wasn't really as per my journey. I cannot really say I found myself, but you know where you walk in and it's a journey that you just want to move with it, because the impact you see is really inspiring. Because from the feedback you get, you realize it makes a difference, Because I remember with the Heroes for Change program, there was this time I was in church in JPOT, and then a student, a young boy, was pulling his mom, asking him to come and say hi to me. So the mom was wondering, how does my son know, and not really an older lady, but how does my son know me? So later on, when the son came and they said hi, the son was like, yeah, she came to our school, she taught us how to wash our hands. And the mom was like, yeah, he came home, he told us we have to wash our hands with water and soap, and this is how you do it. And you realize, by the way, you taught them, and it stayed with them. So the impact through the feedback you get really inspires you to move on, and it shows you that there's a difference you're making, no matter how small it is. In terms of re-strategizing, I think I have had to re-strategize in life, because I came to learn that before I thought, you'd say something like an objective, I want to do something. It stays off in the air. You want to. What are you doing about it? You have to sit down, make deliberate steps in terms of this is what I need to do and this is what I've done, come back and evaluate. And that is what has really made me become more intentional in the things that I do. Because when you put it out generally, you just say, I want to. Most of the time you end up not doing it. Even with your New Year's resolution, you'll say, I want to lose weight, but what are the small steps that will lead you to you losing weight, and how are you evaluating to see if you're on that path? So I believe that is the biggest thing that I've had to re-strategize in terms of life. Yes. Toastmasters International is a public speaking and leadership program. It's offered in universities and outside universities. I joined Toastmasters in, I believe, third year while I was in JQuat. It was a friend who told me, let's go, there's this club where people go to speak. And I wondered, people go to speak, is it really fun? I went the first day and I was sold. So in Toastmasters, the main aim is improving your public speaking and leadership skills. My experience with Toastmasters has been amazing. You get to learn every day. And currently I'm part of Roraka Toastmasters. And I believe our president, she's called Hannah, every day she says there is no best speaker. It's the better speaker because we are learning every day. In Toastmasters, it has really been a journey for me because it has helped me with my public speaking, communication skills, especially with community development. You really have to know how to relate with the community. And there's this thing I can say, before you join Toastmasters, there are things you don't realize. I believe most of you think saying arms and so is cool in a speech. I thought the same, but it's not. Those are called filler words. You're not supposed to have arms, it's distracting. Even so, you'd rather take a pause than put in a filler word. Therefore, Toastmasters has been amazing. It has been a learning experience for me, and I'm still learning from Toastmasters because it's a journey. It's a journey because there are different levels of speeches, there are different levels of pathways that you have to partake. Yes. Being a woman in construction, it's not easy. I'm actually the first person in my family in the construction industry. I remember picking that course, I didn't even know what I was walking into. My father was quite hesitant. My mother was, go for it. I joined. The industry is quite interesting. There are still a few women in the industry. There is the challenge which I've seen where people, being male dominated, people feel like the women are not good enough, or as a woman you have to do a lot to be able to catch up or feel at the same level with your male counterparts. But I believe over the years it's changing, because not to be biased, but I think women are better managers and women are good at management. So it's easy. I think what really my biggest challenge has to be, setting your footing, especially when you're getting in, just as you're getting in, because most of the people you find there are older people with more experience than you. So being able to get your footing where you're able to relate with them in a respectable manner and a very professional manner so that things work out smoothly, especially in your project team, that has been a challenge, but it's a learning process. And I believe with the years, you're able to know how to navigate better the industry. But as of now, I can say the industry is growing and more women are getting in. We even have an association called Women in Real Estate. So women are able to come in, provide mentorship, because we find the women who have gone before us are able to tell us, in such a situation, this is how you navigate, and people are able to just sit down and know how best to move in the industry and develop the industry further, especially as women. I have 2 words for my journey so far. My journey has been an adventure and a teacher. Adventure in terms of there have been a lot of experiences. You meet different people in life who they leave you with something that you pick on and you realize this is important. Adventures in terms of going out, trying out hobbies, my dreams, and then you realize this doesn't work for me. You stop it, go and say this works, or you try this, it fails, and you're like, okay, I have to do something else. So I believe life has been an adventure, a teacher in terms of when I left campus and it's like going into the real world, as people say, you realize there is a lot to learn. It's not as what you thought, especially the frame where they say adulting is a scam. It's because you realize when you get into the reality of it, it's not this imaginary world that you thought everything would work out, or this is how life was supposed to be. So it has been a teacher for me where you really have to learn and relearn, and for you to just move forward, you take a break, learn again, and then you move forward. Yes, that has been my journey. My greatest fear is not living to my full potential. Previously, my greatest fear was failure, but I realized in failure there's so much lessons, because you sit through and think, why did I fail? Where can I do better? So it's not really a fear, rather than it's a learning moment. But for me, I believe I have so much potential in me, and I believe God has put in immense potential in everyone. So me, I feel that when I get to a point and I realize I had this potential and I was not able to fulfill it, I didn't do my best to the best of my ability, that is what really scares me, because I feel that there's a lot I can do as a person, and I not doing it makes me feel, it really scares me a lot. Yes. My lowest point in life, I can say, was April 2020. This was when COVID hit the country. I had just gotten my first job. When you get your first job, you are so excited. You're getting an income, all these plans that you have. You want to travel, you want to buy a new phone, you want to do your nails, do your hair. So you've just gotten into that space. I was 2 months in. You haven't even settled down well. And then COVID hits, and it really affected the industry where we were working on. They had to close, so there was no way the job could continue. So you lose your job, you are just new, you are you've just stepped into the waters, and it's like you drown. So that was my lowest point. And I think what I got from that was that in life is not going to be a straight line. There's going to be ups and lows. You can stay on the low, but you have to regroup and move on. You cannot stay down. And of course, as most people learned, you have to have alternative sources of income, because that was one of the biggest eye-opener for me. Because when you lose your source of income from employment, it's not that life comes to a standstill. You still have to eat, you still have to pay rent. So it really opened my eyes in terms of my financial objectives in life. Yes. 5 to 10 years. Career-wise, I'd like to be a senior project manager with probably handled a project outside Kenya. In terms of financially, I would like to be in the steps where I'm on my journey to my financial freedom. In terms of hobbies, I hope to have traveled to most of the destinations that I want to visit. Also for hobbies, I'd really like to explore. I enjoy organizing events. So I hope I would have ventured into that part of my life and for it to have grown. In terms of my social work, I hope Boldface would have grown to a point where, because eventually we have to be able to be one of the biggest sources of information for menstrual health management, launched our magazine, and just when you think of menstrual health management, you think of Boldface. Finally, probably married, kids, we'll see. Yeah. I can say first and foremost it's my parents, because your parents really mold you into who you are today. I believe they lay down the foundations of your life. So I believe both my mom and dad have really played a part into who I am today. Another thing is my friends and family. In our industry, you realize people matter. In life, people matter. So for me, my friends, family, they really matter a lot to me, and they impact my life because, it's when you get the new job, you call your friend, and when you're scared about an interview, you call your friend to give you a bit of to pump you up and tell you, yeah, go for it, you can do it. So that support system through friends and family has really impacted my life. And I can speak about one person who I really look up to. She's called Leena Nair. She's the CEO of Chanel. I met her through Heroes for Change. She was the Chief Human Resource Officer for Unilever globally. I met the lady, and she was so charismatic. She was listening. I've never seen someone who has so much power and yet listens to everyone, no matter how little whatever you had to say had an impact for her. And she hugged everyone. I looked at her and she hugged everyone, and she could remember names of people she had met 3 years ago. And one thing that she said that kept to me was, people matter. In whatever organization, in whatever aspect you do in life, people matter. If you're able to capture that, even if it's a product that you're selling, even if it's an idea, as long as it impacts the people, you'll be able to get through to it. Because at the end of the day, it's people. It's not the money, it's not the product, it's the people whom you're impacting. So for me, I really loved her charisma, how she was down to earth, and someone with so much. This is someone who is globally, she has so much power, but she hugged you. She hugs you and she asks you how you are, and you wonder. Very few people can do that. So I think she's one person I really look up to. My final words. First, I'd just like to address everyone. I have this statement. It says, God put you on earth for a purpose. You matter. Take up space. So this generally says you should not be afraid to take up space by doing whatever you love, doing your best, and not being afraid, because fear really creeps us out and makes us not achieve our potential to the best. For me, I just like to say, take up space. You really matter, and you have the potential to be whatever you want to be. And for the youths and for ladies who want to join the construction industry, it's a very interesting and lucrative industry. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid of what people think, that it's only for the males or it's male dominated, you won't fit in. No, you can do it. Go for it. Just do your best and it will work out. For the youth, it's difficult. I know, especially with a lot of unemployment. You create the opportunities for yourself. Do the best you can. Get in touch with communication skills. Always try to be improving yourself, no matter where you are. These things matter. Take a course there, take a leadership course, do a short course. Improve yourself in the best way as you can, because at the end of it, you are bettering yourself. Being on set has been interesting. I believe I've ticked off one thing off my list. I've always wanted to be on an interview and a podcast. So the interview came sooner. It's been fun, interesting. I've enjoyed this. Yes, yeah, you can reach out if you want to be on set. Just hit a message down there. Yeah. Shout out to Boldface Initiative. You can follow us on our social media handles, both Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We have the calendar out for 2022. You can join us, partner with us, join us with the events. Shout out to my mom and dad. I hope you're watching this. Shout out to Secret Mission. Shout out to my friends, Alvin Mushai, the Mjengo Master on Twitter. Shout out to Salasia and everyone who we've ever come across with or interacted. I wish you all the best in 2022 as we begin the year. Subscribe, share, like, comment, share to all your friends and the family. Senses Africa by Evie Bank Arts. Thank you.